Got a great panel of guests from our friends at New Hampshire Technical Institute, and it's a beautiful day out there. And you've known, I'll disclose my bias right out of the gate. I'm a huge fan of the community college system. I look at trends in higher education, economics. We just had John Stebbins in our studio, CEO of Procon, talking about the trades. I'm looking where the demand is, where the energy is, and look at. I'm not a hypocrite. I had a couple of kids who went through the university system at UNH in Durham, Plymouth State. I get it. At the same time, we got to look at where the demand is, where the affordability is, and the community college system is rocking it out of the park. I don't want to get into politics here, but I think the entire university trustee system really needs to focus a little more on the community colleges, realizing that's the growth. Even though our community colleges and our full-time colleges and I'm talking four-year colleges like Durham are beautiful. They are. I love it. Okay. I supported it as a parent. That's not my point. The community college is growing in all of them. And the New Hampshire Technical Institute story is dynamic. We've been able to meet the folks from the homecoming side. You had your big anniversary. Patrick, the president, was just in talking about that. Athletics, community programs, people that have gone there, they're now coming back to work there. So, Kristine, we're going to have you quarterback with Wendy and Tim. Thanks for being in our studios.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're doing this without... Oh, you have headsets on? Okay, good, because I can't see that far. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Well, you were the only one who came over and said hi and shook my hand, so I'm going to start with you out of respect. Tell us about you. Tell us about your story. How long have you been there? What do you do at New Hampshire Technical Institute? Take it away.
Oh, well, so I started back at... Well, first, my name's Kristine Boland. Proud to be the Bursar at NHTI.
Whoa, okay. Now we're talking. Keep going.
So I've enjoyed my time there. Started in 2007 and just loved the community, loved our students, loved our mission, and so been there ever since.
What brought you there?
So I was 22 and saw it as a good opportunity. Well, actually, I wanted to work with people. And my mentors encouraged me to start, apply for this job. You'll be great. I don't really want to work with money. I want to work with people. I had no idea how humanistic that position was. So
elaborate on that a little. That's a great line.
Just, college navigating finances and college tuition is very daunting and overwhelming. And we know with all of, the federal programs, they can get rather complicated. It's a lot for us to keep up on. So I can imagine for students, first generation students coming in the doors, it's a lot to navigate. So we spend a lot of time helping students navigate through that. And then also, when they get themselves in a pickle, like, what happened? We help them through it. Yeah, we help them.
Some of that. There's enough stress in that.
Creative problem solving, yeah.
Wendy.
Yes.
Introduce yourself, please.
I'm Wendy Heath, and
what a great name.
I know.
Let's start with the basics, the important stuff. What a great name.
I agree.
Bring the mic up a little bit, if you would, please. Now, do you, like me, when people say, and you're calling on something, checking a balance or making a reservation, and you say your last name, do they say Keith?
No, I always just say my name, Heath, like the candy bar.
I do that too.
Do you?
All the
Everybody
time.
knows candy. So.
I do that too. I slowly say it because they don't know if it's my first name, my last name. So we'll talk later about where you're originally from because we might have crossed paths. You never know.
Sounds good.
So tell us about what you do at the college.
So I am financial aid. So the systems, whole system has a new way of handling financial aid at the campus level. So I'm the only one on campus for financial aid at NHTI.
Wow.
So I work closely with Kristine because I've only been in this role for about 4 or 5 months, so I'm still learning. But prior to that, I worked with, still worked at NHTI, but I worked with accessibility services with Joanna Willis.
So how long have you been at New Hampshire Technical Institute?
About a year and a half.
Yeah. So scholarships, we'll talk about that in a little bit. And Tim, I think I met you before. Tim Allison is the executive director of a group, I believe, GiveNHCC.org, the foundation for New Hampshire Community Colleges. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having us.
Tell us a little bit about what all that means.
Sure. Tim Allison, we work in partnership with Wendy and Chris and the 6 other colleges within the system to help support our students, and by that we are the charitable arm, if you will, a separate 501c3 from the colleges and the system. We have a board of directors, and we raise funds, and we direct those out through a variety of different scholarships.
Awesome. Thank you for doing that. How's the mission? How's the effort going?
It's been fantastic. I mean, we are, I think as you started on the front end, there's a moment now within the community colleges where folks are really coming around and seeing where an investment can pay huge dividends. And you mentioned John Stebbins at the front end. He's a great community leader. And
isn't he amazing? Really good young leader, good family.
Yeah.
I had him in on affordable housing. I said, John, you could be building $1.5 million condos. Why do you want to do affordable housing? He basically said it's because it's the right thing to do.
Right. And so we work with individuals, companies, whether it's the trades, they may have an interest in supporting, folks involved in HVAC programs or a variety of things.
Well, we've done so much, not enough, but what a great last November after the national and local elections, we were able to have the bringing back the trades at NHTI, and to see all the 4,000 young people in that auditorium with the president there and my buddy from America's Dirtiest Jobs, and we're doing the show, and we're just this energy. But you mentioned John Stebbins and the cost of things. He was just talking about housing. And my smarter, prettier, better half is a kitchen bath designer. I didn't realize that today, just a bathroom in a home now is like $25,000. I'm thinking it used to be $10,000. So you think of like a cost of education, cost of groceries, cost of healthcare, cost of everything, cabinets, everything is expensive, vehicles, education. And I think that the economic driver and maybe Kristine, you can talk about this before we go to break, the economic driver for families and individuals looking to get that degree, looking to get a profession, looking to get a career going, and then saying the question we all have to say, what can I afford? And if you can go to New Hampshire Technical Institute for medical imaging, for HVAC, for law enforcement, for healthcare, whatever the field, for 2 years under 20 grand, like $14,000, and come out and get a job that's closer to 100 grand than 50 grand. The economics work pretty well for me.
It's a no-brainer.
Right. And I think, companies like Northeast Delta Dental who understand that, in the dental hygienist program, we've been working closely with Chris and Wendy on facilitating funds that come in to help sort of mitigate that cost. Right.
Tom Raphael, great friend and partner. He's spoken about it often, and I think the board's renewed that contribution to get the more hygienist. And Wendy, Kristine, and our friend Tim here from the foundation on the giving side, the charitable side of our community colleges. So I'm going to open it up. I want to come back to maybe some of the emergency stuff available. But what are you finding, Wendy and Kristine, when you work with families or students? And I imagine some of these folks that may be adults coming to you. The model of the 18 or 19, the freshman being younger might be someone who's 31 years old now, single mom or dad coming in, or an older or younger person. What are you seeing in the marketplace because let's start with the basics. If I want to do full-time, my max out on my credits at New Hampshire Technical Institute for a year. I know you have dorms, but I'm going to be commuting hypothetically. I might do a meal plan, but my point is, what does that cost me a year, all in?
Well,
if I'm paying, like no scholarships, no benefit.
Paying out of pocket and commuting, which definitely saves the housing expense, and it definitely depends on the program because there's different fees. But you're talking about general studies, maybe they're getting their feet wet with courses. I would just say for a very round number, $3,500 per semester times 2. We have we have summer, fall, and spring semesters as well if they want to lighten their load.
$3,500 for a full semester. It's like, is that a quarter a semester? Like I think of a business year, a quarter.
Yes, it's funny because we call them semesters, although we have 3. We have fall and spring, but we do offer classes in the summer.
But if I want to do what I'd call a year, fall and spring, it's under 10 grand
Yes.
on average.
Yes.
Wow.
And then with books too, NHTI has done an amazing job. CCSNH, I think, in general, has done a great job about no cost. They call it NOLO. I was like, what is this new term? NOLO. No cost, low cost books. Digital books,
Yeah.
low cost books to keep those materials affordable for students.
Well, you can do what I did at UVM. I just showed up at the classes and I wrote down everything the professor said, and that's what he or she tested us on it. So I didn't read all the books. No, I'm kidding. Well, not really. Wendy.
Yes.
Financial aid.
Yes.
A lot of folks looking for, I imagine.
Yes.
I'm hearing from folks, the lack of affordable housing,
Yes.
rent, mortgage, healthcare, clothing, groceries.
It's a lot. We have quite a few students who apply for financial aid, and it's hard. It's hard because a lot of it has to do with their parents' income and that sort of thing and what they qualify for. But one thing that really sits on my heart is helping these students who are in situations where they would never have an opportunity. So, and there was a student that I worked with last year for a different reason, but at the time he was homeless, he had nothing, and he wanted to, apply for financial aid. But we ended up getting him set up, and then he ended up doing great in his classes, and I didn't hear from him again until recently this fall when he re-enrolled, and he came over to me and he says, "Miss Wendy, do you remember me?" And I didn't. He looked healthy and strong and fit, and he told me his name, and he says, "I just want to thank you for changing my life.
Wow.
I now live on campus, I am doing this, I have a job, and I'm getting all A's." And that just kind of made all the hard work worth it.
Yeah, that
for
kind
me.
of
Yeah.
that's kind of hard to beat, right?
Yeah.
I think of a veteran years ago in our Veterans Count, my radiothon for my the Veterans Count part of Easter Seals. He had gone through divorce. He was homeless. He needed $600 or $800. He was a Marine for books, and we were able to get him that. And a couple years later, he just touched base. Same thing. I didn't remember him. Didn't know him.
Yeah.
He said that was the turning point. I know it wasn't a lot of money, but it was to me at that time. And I graduated with like 4.0, and I now got a home and I'm
Yeah.
working.
Yeah,
So that's a
I-
great story.
Thank you.
Tim, what about on the giving side? Tell us again the foundation, the website, how people can learn more to support you. But if I'm looking to, what do you do? I mean, do you do situations like where you just do like a gift scholarship?
Sure. So we have we administer over 100 different scholarships across the 7 colleges, and that takes varying different forms. But to Wendy's point, there, you mentioned it earlier, Jack. 3 out of 10 of our students are coming out of high school, so that means the balance are actually young adults in their mid-20s or early 30s. We've even had folks in their 60s, participate in commencement at one of our colleges.
Why are you looking at me?
But no, I'm not too far behind. So, the point about the student that Wendy had worked with is that, and thankfully to organizations like Granite Advance and New Hampshire Charitable Foundation and several generous donors, we have stood up an emergency need fund, which is sort of parallel
Wow.
to the scholarships. And so if a student is up against a situation and they have a crisis with the car being broken, we were able to rapidly respond up to $750.
Now, Wendy, do you or Kristine, do you work with Tim if you run into one of those situations? Do you say, "Oh, you know what? I should text or email him or call him"?
Absolutely. And Tim and his other many colleagues that all pulled together to do this. We have a very collaborative approach, which is great because you have the boots in the ground like us, face to face with the student with very easy access. They're very accessible to contact to say, "Hey, we have a need. Can you help?"
So let me do this. I want you 3 to correct me if I'm wrong with the time we have left. If someone out there is listening and they've been thinking about, "Hey, I want to go back to school and change my career, but I'm so busy and stressed out. I'm working part-time. I'm a parent. We don't have enough money at the end of the budget, the end of the month to pay, the electricity bill. So I don't think I should look into this, but I want it. I want to study part-time. I want to go to New Hampshire Technical Institute. I know I want to study like nursing, for example, or, give me another profession. I mean, there's so many there, medical imaging.
Right.
And I want to do
Justice.
it. Criminal justice. And I want to do it, but I just don't think there's any solution for me there. I'm hearing that they shouldn't think that way. They should meet with one of you. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you'll help them find a path?
Yes.
If it's possible, I would think it sounds like it's possible.
If you want it.
If you want it.
Yeah, if you want it, come and see us, and we'll find a way to make that possible. Sometimes it may look different. Sometimes you take more classes than others, maybe on campus or not, maybe online. But come explore, because you never want to leave any stone unturned. And the people in the CCSNH system, we care. And we have some seasoned people that know how to navigate, and even people who may be varying levels and experiences. Everybody cares and has that creative problem solving to where they can pull it together.
Well, I just think careers are being made at NHTI. I mean, I think of someone in the HVAC field who might have, well, I'm interested in electrical stuff or mini splits and all that. I've tried it. I'd like to learn a little more. I don't think they realize if they want to do the work, get the degree, work with an expert who's a professor there, and then work with one of these companies, they're probably going to get a signing bonus. And if they work hard within a year or two, I may be wrong, they're probably going to be grossing over $100,000 a year.
Yeah, and depending,
and
on
then maybe having a career the rest of their life and becoming an owner.
Right.
And I just think the person who might have a second home up north at a ski home today is no longer, no offense, the doctor, the lawyer, the pilot. It's probably the plumber or the heating company owner.
Right. It's a great point.
What's really funny about that you mentioned that was it last weekend we had our 60th anniversary? And
was it last weekend?
Was it last weekend? The weekend before,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
I bet it went great. The weather's
It
been
was
good.
fabulous. And I got to meet a couple who were the first graduating class of NHTI. And the one thing that one of the gentlemen said was that after he left NHTI, he went on to a 4-year school. And that degree he got at the 4-year school, he never used. It's the NHTI degree that he got that has made him a success today.
Well, I'm an example of that. I mean, I remember sitting around the fraternity at the University of Vermont when it was done going, what do we do now? Political science / economics. And I'm like, never did a media course in my life. And just the way. But, I always think education, even if I don't use it directly, is a good thing. But today, a lot of it comes down to nothing's ever been so expensive. I talk to young couples where both of them may be working, especially in the Seacoast, and their gross income between two people, I'm just throwing this out there, it might be $236,000, $240,000 a year, and they can't afford a starter home.
Right.
And you're like, really? Yeah. Everything's closer to $1 million or $800,000, and they're going to put down $150,000, $200,000, and they're like, we don't have it.
You bring up a good point, and you think about the accessibility of our 7 colleges across the state. So if you're in Berlin right now, White Mountains Community College or Claremont,
and
River
Chuck
Valley.
Lloyd, when he was on with us, they were doing amazing things up in Berlin.
Right.
I mean, everything from mechanical stuff to
welding program,
major truck repairs, welding, all
diesel,
that stuff.
yeah.
Diesel, yeah. He's an amazing guy.
He's a great colleague.
Give him my
and
best.
I would definitely do that. And I think just to accentuate the point, it really is about pathways, and folks can come to us and find themselves ably employed, gainfully employed, and working with a company that may want to support their transition to an advanced degree, whether it be at UNH or Southern New Hampshire or any of the number of the 4-year institutions.
Well, I just love the energy, the caliber of people I get to meet that our great friend brings in from your college. It makes me want to go hang out there. I wish I had more time, but I'll make you all go back out in the sun. But let me just end by, if people want to learn more, Tim, about your foundation, supporting it, giving to it, helping it, best way to follow up is how?
Is givenhcc.org, and for companies that are out there that are looking at the needs for workforce and hiring our students, we can also be a resource to direct a hiring manager to one of our colleges so that they can interface with students who are entering the workforce.
givenhcc.org. Kristine and Wendy, thank you very much. I do really love the last name. No, I'm kidding. Best way to follow up with you on the financial stuff as the Bursar. What's the best way? Phone number, website?
Yeah, you can call us at NHTI at 603-230-4000 and listen to the prompts. You can either, and for financial aid, and you'll get Wendy, or for the Bursar's office, and you'll reach us. And at the end of the day, press 0, and and you'll find your way there. Or come in and see us. We're at Sweeney Hall, 114.
I love it. Wendy, thank you. Kristine, thank you. Tim, thank you.